How do you know you're actually ready to retire? Have you answered the how much, how long, and what if question? Most people wait until they feel ready and then they realize they're not. Or they retire based on a number they heard somewhere, only to discover that number does not match their reality. Today, I'm going to walk you through 6 quick readiness checks, 3 financial, 3 non-financial, that will help you understand whether you are on track or whether you still have some work to do. And I will show you why many Canadians may be missing at least one of these. Hi, I'm Stefano Francesca, Certified Financial Planner Professional and Senior Wealth Advisor at Next Step Wealth Management with IPC Securities Corporation. And retirement readiness is one of the most important conversations I have with clients. Let's get into it. And pay close attention because most people feel confident about the first 2 and completely overlook the third. The first check is one most people think they will pass until they actually try it. Do you know what you spend on a monthly and yearly basis? Not tracked to the penny, but accurately enough that you could write down a number right now and feel confident it's close. Retirement income planning starts with one question: how much do you need? And you cannot answer that if you do not know what you spend or what you want to spend. Without that number, every other projection is just a rough estimate. So take 10 minutes this week. List your monthly expenses: housing, utilities, groceries, transportation, insurance, everything discretionary. If you can come up with a number that feels accurate, you pass. If you cannot, that is the first thing to fix before anything else. The second check catches far more people off guard. Have you been consistently saving? Not occasionally, not when there is something left over, but consistently over time. Because here is what the data shows. According to Statistics Canada, the average Canadian household saves about 5% of disposable income. Many planners would view that level of savings as challenging for long-term retirement readiness on its own. Many retirement planning frameworks suggest targeting roughly 15 to 20% of pre-tax income over time. On a $100,000 household income, that is $15,000 to $20,000 a year across employer pensions, RSPs, TFSAs, and other retirement savings combined. Ask yourself honestly, have I been saving at that level consistently over the past decade? If yes, yeah, you pass. If you are closer to that 5% average, you may need to evaluate whether your current savings pace aligns with your retirement goals. The third check is the one that separates people who think they are on track from people who actually understand their real position. And it's about context. Knowing you have $800,000 saved tells you almost nothing on its own. What matters is whether that number is enough for your actual life. Here is a simple way to start evaluating that. A common planning shortcut is multiplying annual spending by roughly 25 as a very rough baseline for retirement capital needs. Just a starting number, not a plan. Now layer in the present value of CPP and OAS, that's government income indexed to inflation, and ask whether your savings to fill the gap actually needs to carry as much weight as you assumed. For most people in their 50s and early 60s, when they actually run this math, one of 2 things happens. Either they realize they are further ahead than they feared, or they realize they have been measuring the wrong thing entirely. Focusing on a big round number without ever checking whether it matches their actual spending plan. If you have never done this exercise, you may not yet have a clear picture of your retirement readiness. And if you want to sit down and run your actual numbers, not a rough estimate, but a real projection based on your income sources, spending, and timeline, the link to learn more is in the description below. Now here is where it gets interesting, because the next 3 checks have nothing to do with money. And this is where most people get blindsided. Check number 4 is the one that the title promised. And it is one of the factors I see affect retirement satisfaction most often. Do you have something meaningful to do? Not a plan to relax, not I will travel, something that actually gives you structure, connection, and a sense of purpose on a Tuesday morning in February during an Alberta blizzard and there's nowhere to be. One thing many people underestimate is how much work provides structure, social interaction, and a sense of meaning. When work disappears, those things can disappear with it. And if you have not built something to replace them before you retire, the first few months can feel like freedom, and then they can begin to feel very different. Retirement research shows that purpose, connection, and social engagement all play important roles in long-term retirement satisfaction and well-being. So ask yourself this: if work disappeared tomorrow, what fills the week? Do I have interests that engage me? Relationships outside of work? Activities that give me something to look forward to? If you can answer those confidently, you pass. If the answer is mostly silence, Start building that now. For many people, it becomes more difficult to build those routines after retirement. Check number 5 straddles financial and emotional readiness, and it is simpler than it sounds. Are you carrying minimal debt going into retirement? Not necessarily zero, but close. Here is why this matters beyond the math. Debt in retirement can create fixed monthly obligations that reduce your flexibility. When you're living on a pension and a RIF withdrawal schedule, a mortgage or a car loan is not just a payment. It can become a constraint on future decisions. According to the 2019 StatsCan survey of financial security, only 28% of Canadians aged 55 to 64 are debt-free. That is roughly 3 in 10 Canadians approaching retirement who are debt-free, meaning many are still carrying significant obligations. If you're in your 50s and still carrying debt, that needs to be part of your pre-retirement plan right now. Reducing debt before retirement may improve long-term flexibility because the less debt you bring into retirement, the more financial flexibility you have, regardless of how much you have saved. If you're one of those 30% with no debt, you understand the freedom I'm talking about. The 6th and final check is one many couples overlook. Are you and your spouse on the same page? Not just about retirement date, about what retirement actually looks like, what you will each do with your time, whether you are retiring together or separately, what the daily routine looks like when you are both at home. This may sound less financial, but it can have a meaningful impact on retirement satisfaction. I've seen financially prepared couples who had never talked through what retirement meant to each of them, and the transition created tension they did not expect. Suddenly, you are in each other's space all the time with different expectations about how each day should go, and no shared framework for navigating it. Have the conversation. What does a good week look like in retirement? What does each of you need to feel fulfilled? Are you aligned on when and how retirement happens? If you have had that conversation and you are genuinely aligned, you pass. If you have not yet had that, this is where to start, tonight. So here's what I want you to take away from this. Many people discover gaps in at least one of these 6 areas, usually not the ones they expected. They have done the savings, but not the planning. They have hit a number, but never confirmed whether it matches their actual spending. They have thought about money, but never thought about their Tuesday morning. The financial checks and the non-financial checks are equally important. A retirement that is financially solid, but personally unfulfilling, it's probably not the retirement you worked for. And here's the part that matters most. Many people do not discover which area they overlooked until they have already retired. At that point, some things are still fixable, some become more difficult. If you are within 10 years of retirement and you want to get a clearer picture of your retirement readiness, book a consultation with me. The link is in the description. We work with our clients to create a complete wealth management strategy. We will go through your investments, income sources, your savings, your spending, and your goals, showing you exactly where you stand and what, if anything, may need to change before you retire. If you're not ready to start planning together, download my free retirement guide using the link below as well. If this was helpful, a like or subscribe helps more Canadians find it. I will see you in the next video. Let's take the next step.